Hi, welcome to another video about the Target Individual Experience, the Target Individual Program. So, I did a video earlier, uploaded, had to go out to my kids' after school program show. They were doing a holiday show. Came back, and for whatever reason, the video was not uploaded, and they changed my account. I have two YouTube accounts, so they changed my account so that way the video would not be uploaded. So anyway, but came back and uploaded anyway, so there you go. It failed. All right, so I'm doing this video because, like I said, actually before I get into that, this is the holidays, coming towards the holidays, and so as TIs, we know when it comes to these types of events, these type of holidays, that they're going to attack us heavily, and particularly around Christmas time, Thanksgiving, where people do a lot of shopping. You may go to the mall, different stores. They will set up street theater. I mean, heavy street theater and going on in those stores in the mall, because they will use the increase in civilians to target you. Okay, and so I think it was 2 days ago, Pam had ordered something from Target, and somehow they canceled whatever it is that she ordered, so she had to reorder it again. And obviously they wasn't going to ship it in time for Christmas because it was a gift for someone, and so she would have to order it and then go pick it up at Target. So she came to me and she was like, I'll order this, but I gotta go pick it up. So she couldn't decide which Target to go to, and so I said, well, listen, you can pick any one, whichever one is more convenient for you. Obviously, I know that they did this on purpose, just by the way she was acting towards me and saying certain things, because she wanted me to go with her. And so I said to her, and I said, look, I ordered everything I need to order. Whatever gift I have for my kids, I already ordered it online. I'm not going to any stores during the holidays, because again, that's when, as a TI, they triple the increase of your targeting using civilians, or civilian perps. And so I said to her, I'm not going to Target. You can take the car and go to Target. Well, within a minute or two of me telling her that I'm not going to Target, she can take the car and go to Target by herself. I was hit with, police sirens, noise campaign. Okay, and so that gave me confirmation that this was all a plan of theirs. Because again, to try to get me out of the house into a situation, an environment where there's a lot of people, so they can heavily psychologically attack and torture me. Okay. And when that didn't work, now they go back to doing the noise campaign. So today, like I said, it was my kids' holiday play, a holiday show for their after-school program. So I went there. Pam came a little bit late, and then she started saying things to throw out trigger words. And so I started countering by throwing out things to counter her trigger words. So it was back and forth, and then people kept walking in front of us, looking at her, looking at me, doing these hand signals. And, at that point, I'm like, okay, now I gotta be, very active in targeting back. Okay, and aggressively. So, but when I got there, sat down. The show was starting, and this woman came and she stand up in front of me. And see, and what they do and how they mask their targeting is that where I was sitting, okay, there was a row in front of me, but there was a space that's in front of me with no seats. So she stood there for like 5 minutes talking to, I guess might be one of her associates, okay, blocking my view, okay, not even giving a damn, and she kept turning around and looking at me. And so finally I had to tap her and said, listen, you're blocking my view, okay. So all the while she was standing there, she's doing these hand signals. So let me go to the video, because I video it, okay. And so this is her here in the gray sweatsuit and the gray jacket or silver jacket. It's actually a gray jacket. And again, the use of colors, right? And they will always use, opportunities, particularly if they're targeting you with colors, being that it's Christmas, so it's like a lot of red. And, red is a color that they use to target us, okay? So they will use those opportunities to target us TIs, okay? So this is, so I had to tap her, and finally she goes, now look at how this dude turn around and look at me. Look at him. Okay? Let's go back again. Alright? So he turns around, he looks at me. Alright, that's him turn around, look at me once. Turn around, look at me again. Okay? Trying to be sneaky about it. That's my daughter on the stage here in the back. Right? So then all throughout the show, people keep walking back and forth in front of me. And so it's targeted. Okay? Because the show is going on, yet people are walking constantly back and forth in front of me, doing these hand signals and stuff like that. And so what I want to show you is here, because again, this is neurolinguistic programming going on here. So the show was ended, and then this lady came and she stand up right there, right almost in front of me. Then you had an older lady who came and she stand up in front of her, and they were both turning around staring at me. So I took my phone and I started to record, because I see them, they keep looking at me. All right. Okay. So I took my phone and I started to record. Okay. Now, I think they took this as like somehow they were triggering me, because when I started recording this, then you had a group of people sitting on the right side of me, including Pam, and they all are targeting me.
Okay, so we gotta do this quick. Alright, so for Above and Beyond, Bumba.
Also, so when I wasn't recording and they were passing back and forth, there is a metal bar here that they keep touching or grabbing, right, as they was walking past. And I noticed this, because every single time someone walk past, they would grab this bar. So, and again, that alludes to what I was talking about in my previous video about, holding a metal object in my hand, like a spoon or a fork or a butter knife, and Pam would engage in this staring campaign when I do those things, when I held those, those things. And so I started noticing the same thing here, right? So whenever they walk past this metal ball, they would grab it, and it's every single one, okay, that had walked back and forth here.
From kindergarten, Bamba. For our kindergartners, give it up to Bamba. For another beyond and above and beyond, Esther Lewis.
Okay. Now.
No, we gotta go. For our above and beyond category, we got Sarah Oakley. Where are you?
So you see, now you see the older woman, right? First she was leaning on the wall the way I couldn't see her. But once I started filming and panning the camera back and forth, she's gonna come off the wall and she's gonna start do some hand signals. Okay.
Again, for our above and beyond, we have Melissa Tism. Let's go, Melissa. For our fourth grade.
See what she's doing here? Okay.
Okay, so we gotta do this quick. Alright, so for above and beyond, Bamba from kindergarten, Bamba.
And I don't want to trigger anyone, but I have to show this because I need to explain this.
Beyond and above and beyond, Esther Lewis. No, we gotta go. For our above and beyond category, we got Sarah Oakley.
So she comes out.
Sarah Oakley, where are you? Again, for our above and beyond, we have Melissa Tism. Melissa, let's go, Melissa.
Now, she starts doing this. Okay? Now, that is not a natural thing that somebody would do. Okay, that is not a natural thing that somebody would do. And they do this to me a lot. They'll either take their thumb and press it on their clothing, particularly when they're wearing certain colors. They would do this, right? And again, this is what you call a fixation drill. This is what you call dark NLP, whatever they placed in my subconscious. This is a trigger, okay? And so whenever I see this happening, and it happens quite frequently, when I talk about things done in repeated pattern in front of you, and usually the same things, that is to let you know that this is a conditioning phase that is being done to you, that you're being put through, okay? So when things are being done repeatedly in front of you, the same things is being done to either act as a trigger or to condition you to that trigger. Okay? And so
for our fourth grade.
So the reason why she came and she stood up here, and remember I talk about, women walking in front of me and they'll do a fixation drill with the palm of their hand, and I'm going to show you what it is that they're doing. Okay, so now again, these two, they're working together. All right.
For our fourth grade.
Let's go forward here.
Again, for
okay, so
category, we got Sarah Oakley. Where are you?
Now, and again, this is how they do the masking. So she's gonna reach out to take her kid jacket, right? And it just so happened that both of these two just came to stand up right in front of me. Okay, after, like I said, people have been walking back and forth in front of me all throughout the show. Okay, and imagine when the majority of people in this auditorium are participating in the psychological torture and harassment of someone, it can be overwhelming. Okay? And so that's why I record, because I want to remember when I look at the video and explain exactly what's been done. Okay?
Again, for Above and Beyond, we have Melissa Tism. Melissa.
So now, I see how she takes her phone. Excuse me. So you see, as she leaves, she's about to leave.
We have Melissa Oakley. Where are you? Again, for
she's leaving.
Above and Beyond, we have Melissa.
Phone goes up.
Melissa,
looks at
let's
me.
go, Melissa.
Okay.
To our fourth grader.
All right. So let's go to the next video. So now,
Fourth grade, we have Rajiv. Rajiv, where's Rajiv?
Here comes the other
Jesse,
perp.
you're leaving. Jesse's leaving. Yeah.
This guy.
Okay.
The gray sweater.
Sorry. Awesome attitude.
He goes out of his ways. Now, they're going around letting parents sign this attendance sheets, right? And, they were going to come to him. But, again, you're targeting the street theater, or whatever you want to call it, the harassment theater is going to be a separate. So if it a separate program. So if you're going to the movies or going to a play, going to a show like this, they will base your targeting around what's going on in the play. So, for example, intermission, when people walking back and forth, they will base your target on that, and on the play or show itself. So, certain things going on in the play, someone in the audience will do some type of hand signal, what have you, to let you know that they already know what the play is about, what every person's line. So when the people or the kids that's doing the play, that's saying their line, the minute they may say something, then they'll start to do triggers, right, or do hand signals. Okay, so this guy now, so he walks all the way from the back just to come down, because he wants to sign the sheet so bad. Okay.
Casey Jones, first grade Casey Jones.
Now you notice nobody else is coming to sign the sheet.
Stephanie Rios is here.
All right, got him. And I didn't catch this.
Glory, where's Glory?
I didn't catch this woman behind me, but when she walks towards him, and I think she covers her mouth. So he looks at me. You see, he looks at me.
Glory, Glory. And fifth grade.
Now,
McNelly, fifth grade.
Even the kids are going to get involved.
No matter what. Mr. G, can I help you? Mr. G, can I help you? Kindergarten, Bamba. Let's go, Bamba. Look how small he is. My number one helper right there. Samantha, let's go, Samantha.
And it's like, as another T.I. outlet was said, that if you're a T.I. and you go outside, you go to the store, they will start crowding. They will start crowding you, right? This is what they do. It's like you're a magnet, and so they're all drawn towards you. Okay, let me the sound. So yeah, so it's like you're a magnet, and they're all drawn towards you. Adult, kids, everybody. Okay, so no matter where you are, where you're seated, where you're standing, you will see an increase of crowds of people coming around you. And again, they do it in such a way that it's a masking technique to mask their targeting of you. Okay? So there's one particular part that I really want you guys to pay attention to, because this is some of the things that they do. Okay. So this is Alyssa, and again, this is microwave mind control. I'm going to show this right here. Okay. Here's my daughter running towards me. Okay. Microwave mind control. So she's running towards me, and what does she do? This. Okay. I don't know how many videos I've shown you with people doing that to me, even my kids, because this is a scripted microwave mind control technology at work. Okay. So everybody is on cue, and it's with precision. Okay. And now she sticks her tongue out at me. Okay. See, I'm used to this, right? Because this is what the civilian perps do, and when we're being microwave, Pam would do it, and my kids would do it. Okay. And so she came and she stood in front of me, and again, my urge was to look down, and when I looked down, she had her hands with her palm facing towards me. Okay. Now, so he looks at me again. Okay. Now again, like I said, I'm not trying to trigger anybody. So if you're triggered by the color red, it's not done on purpose. It is the Christmas holiday, and red is a color, red, green, are colors that are predominantly associated, and you'll see mostly around Christmas time. And they know this, so they'll use the holidays or whatever celebration is happening and incorporate it in your targeting. Okay, this is what they do. They're very smart. When they created this program, they knew exactly how they were going to mask it, what they're going to do, so that if you're the TI is talking about it, that it may make you sound a little paranoid or a little crazy. Okay, but the fact is, you're not. This is orchestrated. This is through microwave mind control signal, as well as brainwashing of the target. Okay, Doc NLP used to instill fear-based, trauma-based mind control conditioning. Okay, so when I put the camera back on him, he walks away. Now, see this young lady here in the green sweater? When I first sat down, she was one of the people that kept constantly walking back and forth doing these hand signals, playing with her hair. As she walked past, she would grab her braids. Every single time she walked past me, she would do that action. Okay, so now, and they're looking for my reaction, because this is how this works. They'll do the street theater. they'll look to see if you're reacting to whatever that they're doing, and then whatever you're reacting to, they already have a response for that. So, for example, while I was recording, I noticed Pamela, she kept staring at my phone. I mean, she was staring at my phone so hard. And I was going to ask her, like, what are you staring at? Do I stare at your phone when you're recording? You know, and then she would look at me and stare at the phone, look at me, stare at the phone. You know, that kind of thing. Like, trigger, right? Whatever subliminal message you're trying to send me, you know, I don't know, maybe they do that because, again, and they'll do some things like that because maybe she wants me to not record, right? So she figures if she's going to stare at my phone, my reaction would be to not record. But I still kept recording. Okay? Okay, so now she's going to walk back. And again, look at how they mask it. Watch, she turns the palm of her hand right here towards me. See that? So, all right, let's go back again. Okay. Okay. Might be a little. Okay, there you go. So, let's go back a little bit more. Right. So right here. At this point, did you guys see that? Let me go back again. Okay. Right here. Turning her hands so that the palm of her hands is facing towards me. And again, trying to be very sneaky about it. Right here. There you go. Try to be, and then turns it back. Try to be very, very sneaky about it. Okay. Now they're going to use Ethan to do the same thing. See it right here? Okay. They see how now he does this as he's looking at me. Microwave mind control. Okay. This is being done in real time. Okay. And this is a broadcast microwave signal or signals. And some of those signals are tuned directly to the brainwave frequency of my kids, myself, Pam, and then a overall frequency, an underlying frequency, is broadcast to the people in the audience. Okay, so I just want to explain and to show people exactly how this is being done, because a lot of people, okay, who are target individuals and don't know it, end up becoming violence, end up becoming extremely paranoid, or even develop extreme schizophrenia because of what's being done to them. Okay? And so when you look at what they do to deceive TIs and how they do it, as I try to explain, it is basically a couple of things that's being done. Okay? Sometimes it's to send a message that this is a test, and it's like a never-ending test. It's training for the perps. Okay? It's to make you stronger. That's where the false sense of confidence come in. Or to try to initiate you into joining their destructive cult, or to silence you. Alright? So let me just read this. Some victims may not understand why someone would do this to them, or how some people can do this to others, what the motives are for doing this to them, and therefore can be deceived into believing the phenomenon is of beneficial intention. The phenomenon of psychological harassment or warfare can also leave the victims in doubt or confused as to what is going on, or what is the intention or purpose of these psychological manipulation, psychological attacks, and events in questions or for. Are the intention in some way benevolent for training purpose or self-improvement? Most cases, actually all cases, is not. It can also leave the victim unaware that a psychological war is being waged on them. And see, this is where we as TIs have the most disagreement, because you have these religious TIs who want to blame this on spiritual warfare, demons, and all this other nonsense, when they are totally missing that this is a psychological war that is being waged on them. Okay? And the doubt, confusion, and deception can result in preventing the victim from taking action or fighting back. Now, this doesn't apply to me and other TIs who understand that we are in a psychological war that's happening to us. Okay? And so our way of fighting back is by doing these videos, exposing what's being done, doing the hand signals back to the perpetrators. Okay? And so that is our way of fighting back. Okay, so let's move on. When a group with psychological warfare expertise targets a victim and tries to create situation, street theater, scenarios, or events with the intention of embarrassing, humiliating, threatening, anger-induced fear, or other harmful effects, they need a strategy to deal with the failure or failures if the event in question do not produce the desired outcome or result. So let me give you an example. Today, at the kids' after school program show, holiday show, after being psychologically attacked heavily on our way home, now they're going to use Pam, because now you see they have affected me psychologically. I'm pissed off, okay, a little angry, a little upset. So now they're going to use her to try to calm me down. So now she's like, what's the color on your watch, right? So what I do, and this is part of my defense mechanism when I'm being attacked heavily, my watch has a flashlight, and the flashlight has many different colors. So I'll put it on a color that I know would trigger the perps, right? Sometimes it's one particular color, or sometimes I'll change it up. Sometimes I'll have that color flash, and I'll put my watch up in front of their face. Okay. So she just keeps asking me about my watch, and I just said to her, "Listen, don't worry about my watch. Worry about yours. You have your watch on your hands. You don't need to be worrying about my watch." And the reason why she's saying that, because she's trying to trigger me again. Because you remember I talked about early on in my targeting, going to pick up my son. Whenever I enter, going up into the train platform or coming down from the subway, there will always be these police officers there, and whenever they see me, they will look at their watch, and then they will look at me, and they'll do it multiple times, right? And then so now because they figure they kind of produce or have me in a stress level that now they're gonna try to trigger me so I can get upset or what have you. But listen, I was giving it back to her the same way. Okay, so now, okay, I get a text. Okay, I get a text, and this is how they use people and try to send you subliminal message about how they win or what have you. So I get this text. Okay, and I talked about this on I think maybe a couple of videos. So there's this guy that I used to go to high school with, and his name is Winston. Right? So whenever they attack me this heavily, I get a text from Winston. So the word Winston, win. You understand that? You see where I'm going at? Just as when they pass me for walking, if I'm walking outside on the street, they will always be staring into windows, win, as opposed to say, well, we win or I win. Because when I look back at the window, I'm telling them that I win. If they want to tell me they win, I'm telling them I win. Okay, because they want you to think this is some sort of game, some sort of competition. Okay, so all of a sudden I get a text, okay, from Winston after being heavily psychologically harassed and tortured with street theater. Okay, so at that point, Pam, she's looking at me, and then she's looking at my daughter, and then she's looking at me, and then she's looking at my daughter. And again, whenever she does this, or she's looking at my son, whenever she does this, I think she's participating in this because they are threatening her that they're going to do this to my kids. And you know what? And they threaten me that they're going to do this to my kids all the time. All the time. Okay? Because they want me to be quiet. Am I going to be quiet? No. But again, it goes back to slavery, particularly with black women, black mothers, who would raise their male children to be fearful of white people. So, and that still goes on today, in where a lot of these black women raise their male children to be patsies. Okay? And the fact that if she feels that she needs to do this because they're going to do this to our kids, how about speaking out against what's being done? That way we can stop this from being done to anybody else, including our kids. Okay? But this is something that people just don't understand. That's why they go along. If you're afraid that they're going to do this to you and you're silent, guess what? They're going to still do it to you. They're going to still do it to your kids. When my brother was being targeted, as he was telling me that they were sending him subliminal messages that they were going to do to me what they did to him. And he was probably about he had been targeted. I would say maybe 5 or 6 years before me. So my targeting began in 2002. Not my targeting began, but I was first aware of my targeting in 2002. I'm sure it might have been like 2 or 3 years before that. Them psychologically manipulating me, trying to set me up and stuff like that. So he was telling me this, that they were going to they were sending him subliminal messages that what they're doing to him, they were going to do to me if he talked about what was being done to him. And so, being totally oblivious to what was happening. And of course, when you're a TI, you realize you're a TI, and you think back on things, and you see things you remember things that happened before you became aware of your target, and you understand that they've been doing this to you for a very long time. Okay? So it's, but, I had to tell him, I said, listen, man, we got to stick together. And it was hard between him and I, because they ran a psychological game between my brother and I to cause us to not trust each other, to not speak to each other. And if it wasn't for a lot of these websites that exposes these types of program, as well as testimonies from other targeted individuals that put their stories out there, what was happening to them, we wouldn't have gotten to the point in which we are now. Okay, I mean, they still try to use us against each other, but I recognize a lot of tactics, and he recognizes some of it, even though it may affect him a little bit more, because he's been targeted, for over 20 years. And so, we were able to build back some level of trust between him and I. And so they will do this with me and Pam all the time, to try to break that trust or have me not trust her. And I don't trust her 100%. I trust nobody 100%, especially being in this program. Okay, family members, I would say my kids, and even if, because my oldest is 17, okay, and I've told them about this stuff. Okay, so a lot of times, I think he recognized that when I do something, like if I feel like they're using him to trigger me, I'll do some hand signals back, and then he'll stop. So I think, because I have spoken to him about this, right? So I think he realized at that point that, let me be aware of my actions, the things I do with my hands and stuff like that, and then my youngest, if I see them do things repeatedly in front of me, I just tell them don't do it, and be aware that when they get in front of me, if they feel the urge to do certain things, don't do it. Okay? So they always trying to, I guess, cause distress between Pam and I, or, whenever, for whatever reason, because I notice sometimes her behavior would change towards me, right? Sometimes she'll be very cold, and then sometimes she want to be affectionate. But the only time she wants to be affectionate is when I'm being heavily targeted, and so see, I guess, if the targeting has a negative effect on me, then she wants to be affectionate. And at that moment, I tend to be more reserved. So when I become more reserved, then the perpetrators, if there are perpetrators around us, they start feeding off of that. Okay, so I've noticed a lot of these things. And like I said, not only am I experiencing being in this program, but I'm also studying being in this program, exactly what it is that they're doing, how they're doing it. Okay, because I'm sure there are a lot of people out there that are being emotionally and sexually manipulated, okay, being put into this program, and they have absolutely no clue. and it has destroyed their emotions, their mindset, their livelihood, everything. Because this is meant to leave no trace and to put the blame squarely on the victim of these types of program. Okay, so it's the holidays, so I expect it to be heavily targeted. And so I'm just trying to put the video out there before I go home, because the kids is off school for a week, and so I probably won't be able to do a video in this format. Maybe I might, depending on how I'm being targeted, and if I get any of the targeting on video, I may just come down here during the week and upload a video. But just be aware, if you're a TI during the holidays, you already know this. This is these times is where they start attacking us heavily, and trying to put us into a situation where they can crowd us with civilians to psychologically break us down. Okay, so I hope you guys have a great holiday, and I'll speak to you guys on the next video.